Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We draw 3 cards, reveal them. You may cast one of them without paying its mana cost. Oh my. Teleportation Circle and Cavalier Dawn. Cavalier Dawn is super helpful. There's a lot of things worth blowing up.
Today on Commander Replay, we check out Nadaar Selfless Paladin and find out what we can do with a bunch of swords and ETB triggers. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, help support me and save 15% on singles by using the promo code REPLAY at mothershipaTX.com. Commander Replay t-shirts, available in orange and colors beside orange.
Welcome back everyone, playing some Nadaar Selfless Paladin today. Take a look at this opener. Got 1 land and a Tithe. That can become 3 lands. It's actually not too bad. Got an Esper Sentinel also. Yeah, I think we'll keep this. Wouldn't normally keep a 1-lander, but Tithe makes it work. So does Esper Sentinel. Importantly, we're not going first in the turn order. Should be easy to turn this Tithe into 2 lands. Looks like we're going last in the turn order, which is not where I want to be. I played this deck last night and ended up going last in the turn order. And I ate all of the removal in the game and got tempoed out really hard, which is really terrible when you're mono white and going last, and then the player in the first position won the game because they basically had no resistance to anything they were doing. Do I sound a little salty about it? It's because I'm a little salty about it. Anyway, hoping for a better game today, and hopefully we get a pretty good look at Nadaar. The venture ability on this thing is actually pretty cool. We'll take a peek at it. So it's a 3-mana 3/3 with Vigilance, and whenever it attacks or enters the battlefield, you venture into the dungeon, and other creatures you control get +1/+1 as long as you've completed a dungeon. It's easy to get Nadaar into play pretty quickly and just start swinging away. I thought about doing a couple different things with this deck. You could go the swords route with it and just load as many swords on there as possible, and that's not a bad idea. But overall, I think that Halvar is going to be a better play all the swords type of deck. So with this deck, it does have some equipment in it, but it also has a lot of ETB stuff, and where it's going to be kind of a half and half of equipment Voltron with some cool ETBs. So that's kind of what I'm going for, and we'll see how it plays. There are some really cool interactions in the deck. We'll see how things go here, but anyway, let's get back to our turn. So we want to play this Plains, and let's drop in this Esper Sentinel, and hopefully we can catch some card draw in this next turn cycle here from our opponents. But yeah, that venture ability, especially if you're looking at Dungeon of the Mad Mage, as long as you can keep Nadaar in play and attacking, it will generate some decent value for you. It's not exactly like game-winning card draw. It's not like dropping a Consecrated Sphinx or something like that, but it's still a tool that Mono White hasn't had, because Mono White's thing is just running out of cards, and as long as you can keep Nadaar going, you will have extra cards coming, and that's a very helpful thing, so. Opponent drops in a Sakura Tribe Elder, does not trigger the Esper Sentinel, sadly. Opponent's going to cast a Shadow Spear. They've got the mana. Super annoying. They pay. Yeah, we need to drop a sword on this Esper Sentinel ASAP so people can't afford to pay for it. There we go. There's an Arcane Signet into the Esper Sentinel. Let's see what we draw. Winds of Abandon. Cool, but not a land. There's a Dragon's Horde. That's actually a really cool card for this deck. If we play the Tithe, we're going to go up to 9 cards in hand. This is kind of awkward, actually. I think we're going to have to discard something. Play the Tithe. Let's get Mistveil and a regular Plains. Drop in the Mistveil. And the question is, what are we going to discard? We'll poke fish for 1 right here, just since they're open and we're not blocking with this thing, so might as well get something done. I'm going to discard the Eldrazi Displacer just because it's the easiest to get back based on what we have in the deck. We have a Sun Titan, we have a Maria Shepherd. I believe there's a Karmic Guide in here also. There's the Awakening Zone. Opponent has mana up, though. We might be on kind of a slower path this game. It is common to just drop Nadaar in on turn 3 and then try to get those abilities going, but based on the ramp that we have with Dragon's Horde and Gilded Lotus, we might be getting those into play first before really going on the Nadaar plan. Cathedral of War for opponent. Interesting card. I'm working on building Velomachus in paper right now, and I have to go find my Cathedral of War. Generally, this has been outclassed by a lot of other utility lands in the past few years, but, you know, going back 6 or 7 years, certain aggro decks, particularly Voltron decks, may have used this card, but a lot of times I did find that just having a colored mana there was a lot better, but we'll see if they got something fun for the IcingDeath Frostfang. There's a Maul of the Skyclaves. That's a cool card. So we can drop in the dragons. This is still kind of awkward. So let's play the Plains. I think we get the Dragon's Horde in. I really wanted to drop the Maul of the Skyclaves on the Esper Sentinel so people can stop dodging our card draw. We'll poke Cadus this time. On the other hand, putting the Maul on Nadaar is also a really good idea. So here's a quick peek at the deck list. Like I said, we do have some swords in here. The swords can be very helpful. Hearth and Home in particular, because there are a lot of ETB effects in this deck. We have some other cool things. You got a Manifold Key. Commander's Plate is really good in monocolor decks. Protection from 4 colors. It's pretty serious. We got a Paladin class in here, which can be kind of fun. I just picked up a Solitude for this video. They're still really expensive on Magic Online. But it seems really good for this deck. So the early part of the game is going to have a lot to do with these swords. Later in the game, we're going to look at stuff like Captain of the Watch, Lena, Protector of the Crown, Angel of Invention, and Knight Captain of Eos, a card that I'm really excited about and was in the video yesterday, but hopefully we'll get to look at it today. But it allows you to fog like crazy, which is really cool because you can control how combats go once that's in play. So it's just a really fun card that has an effect that I really enjoy. IcingDeath, Frost Tyrant coming into play. Also, opponent to get themselves a Xenagos the Reveler. We'll take a peek at what our opponents are playing today. First up is Cadis piloting Thromok the Insatiable. Has Devour X, where X is the number of creatures devoured this way. Basically, you make a bunch of tokens, and then you sack them all, and then it gets really big. He's got us with this deck in the past. It does things. It spits a lot of bodies onto the battlefield and also makes one really huge one, which normally I wouldn't advocate for, but when you have like a lot of tokens plus something really big, it creates 2 separate problems that you have to deal with. When this thing has like 20 power or 20 toughness, a Blasphemous Act doesn't just solve the problem. And same thing with like Austere Command can get a little weird too if you need to hit another target beside creatures. So even though it is still a creature deck, it kind of comes at you in 2 different ways, and it does put a lot of pressure on you to be able to stop what they're doing because it just does a ton of damage all at once. There's an Agent of Erebos. Looks like we're getting our stuff exiled. Not the best. Would like to see a land off the top here. Sword of the Animist is something. That'll help us get... Yeah, I like Sword of the Animist here. That'll get us the land and puts 2 power on the Esper Sentinel so that opponents will have a harder time denying the card draw. We'll attack the Planeswalker. They'll probably just block, but... Sword of the Animist trigger. Use the ability. Get a Plains. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, Gilded Lotus. Pretty solid card for this deck because you can drop your commander in on 3. Yeah, opponent blocks. Soaks up the damage. There's Eternal Witness. Agent of Erebos. Should be going after the green deck. Gets back the Sakura Tribe Elder. Yep, it's a lot of mana. They're also first in the turn order. That's an issue as well. Tribe Elder coming back. Yep, adds a bunch of mana. Hull Breach. Gonna shoot Esper Sentinel and the Agent. We will get to draw right here, though. Unless they sacrifice this Eldrazi. They do. Wow, I'm annoyed. I am annoyed. Rude. So rude. Hopefully Fish has the good sense to do something about this Planeswalker. There's a Fire and Ice. That's kind of nasty. That should get some things done. Although, that takes away incentive to attack the Planeswalker, which I don't love. Yep, Fire and Ice on the thing. IcingDeath into Cadis. There's the Exalted trigger. That's a lot of commander damage. Gonna hit him for 7. Fire and Ice trigger. Shoots the Eternal Witness. Our middle opponent, by the way, is Fish Said Fish piloting IcingDeath Frost Tyrant. One that I haven't really seen yet, but does look very cool. It's a 4-mana 4/3 with Flying and Vigilance. When it dies, create IcingDeath Frost Tongue, a legendary white equipment artifact token with equipped creature gets +2/+0. Whenever equipped creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. Looks kind of cool. That's a Martyr's Bond. That's actually an incredibly nasty card, and I wish they saved that Hull Breach. Now it's basically impossible to have enchantments in play, which is not the best. There's an Inventor's Fair land off the top. We do need that land. Play the land. Let's get the Gilded Lotus. Cast our commander. Nadaar and Dragon's Horde will trigger. We're going to the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We need extra cards. We gain 1 life. First one, maybe a little underwhelming. There's the counter on Dragon's Horde. We'll probably draw with that, but I guess we'll hold up the swords just to be smart. Xenagos making mana. Yep. Mask of Memory. Interesting. Opponent's going to poke over to the Ghen. Our final opponent, by the way, is D-Manny piloting his Ghen deck. We've seen this one a number of times. I've been playing against this deck a lot recently. The problem is that there's a graveyard combo in the deck, and that's not the easiest thing to interact with. It's Underworld Breach, Mana Geyser, Crackle with power. He talked about maybe adding another win condition to the deck. I don't know that that helps our case any, but there's a Dismantling Wave. Picked apart by removal. Did need that Sword of the Animist. That is going to get rid of the Martyr's Bond, though. That needs to happen. Love to find our Sun Titan. Opponent's going to beast within this arcane signet, which will trigger the Martyr's Bond. So now we all have to sacrifice an artifact. We'll sacrifice the one that's already about to die. I don't know that that's how I would have went with that. That'll get Mask of Memory, one artifact from Fish, and we're going to sacrifice our Sword of the Animist, which is already slated to die. Fish dropped the Shadow Spear. Fish has 3 good equipment, so you can make a case for any one of them and make a case for saving any one of them. They're all really good, what they do. Yeah, opponent definitely misunderstood how the Martyr's Bond works. I've been seeing it a lot recently. I have a pretty good feel for it. Opponent equips the Commander's Plate. Yep. If it comes our way, I might Swords it. That's a lot of damage. Nope, going back into Cadus. It's fine with me. Exalted. Oh my. Here's 10 Commander damage incoming. It's going to put him to 17. This should make them squirm in their seat a little bit. Fire Nice trigger. Ooh, nice. Gonna poke down the Xenagos. This actually works out because then we can put Maul of the Skyclaves on Nadaar and then finish up the Xenagos. Phyrexian Scriptures. Ew. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. That creature becomes an artifact. Step 2, destroy all non-artifact creatures. Step 3, exile all opponent's graveyards. Yep. This an artifact? Nope. Yep, they're gonna put a thing on their beast. We're gonna draw a card. Would like to see a land here. It's a generous gift. There's a world in which I might generous gift this Phyrexian Scriptures. That's a Stoneforge Mystic. That's a cool card. We have the 7 mana that we need to be able to Stoneforge Mystic into the Blink Sword, Sword of Hearth and Home. On the other hand, I almost wonder if, like, we need a Dowsing Dagger. If we do the Stoneforge Mystic play, we won't have enough mana to shoot the Scriptures. Also, I guess there's a Fire Nice, which would blow up our Mystic. Okay. Yeah, I think I talked myself. Let's just play them all with Skyclaves then. Ooh, except we can make a treasure token. So this will free equip onto the Nadaar when it attacks. I really don't want to give up the Stoneforge Mystic, though. I think it's too good. So let's just swing with Nadaar. We'll get that out of the way. Swing into the Xenagos. We venture. We get to scry one. Angel of Invention is a reasonably cool card. Yeah, we'll leave that there. No sign of a land, though. Maybe we should have sent that to the bottom. Xenagos goes down. Problem is we have 3 creatures I really want to play, and we can't really play them. So I think we're just sitting on Swords and Generous Gift. I guess we could crack the Inventor's Fair at some point. I don't know, maybe the Scriptures will buy us some tempo, because everyone else won't really be able to drop creatures. Yep, no play from Cadus right there. See what Fish wants to do. Stratascythe! Haha, this should be fun. It is going to be tough to win an aerial battle with all these equipments. Equips the Stratascythe, it's going to be giant. Well, I mean, what's that, +4? It's still big. Yeah, it's got 18 power. That is a lot. Where do you send that? Gonna give it +1/+1 and trample. Fun. With the Skarg the Rage Pits. Cool land. One that I always need to remember to use a little bit more. It's gonna go to 20 when it gets exalted. Gonna send that over to D-Manny. There's the exalted. Let's see if he left any tricks up. You have anything that pumps for 1? Not that I'm seeing. Takes a hit for 20 commander damage. Gets cut in half, goes to 18. Here's a Fire Nice trigger. And gonna send it to the face, down to 16. So me and Fish still on high life totals. Cadus and D-Manny not. They're at 22 and 16. Yep, destroy all non-creature artifacts. Non-artifact creatures, excuse me. Opponent sacks a Tribelder. Nadaar to the command zone. IcingDeath trigger. So they'll get to create the equipment. IcingDeath Frost Tongue. As we talked about, equipped creature gets +2/+0, and whenever it attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. That's a solid ability. Starfield of Nyx. I might generous gift that. Not really interested in what that does. Was thinking about the Inventor's Fair, but there's a Ghen. Another thing, too, is that, like, I would really like to be able to get these back, but, I think we gotta shoot that Starfield, because then they just get Martyr's Bond back. Nothing good's coming from that. Shoot the Starfield. Brings back to our turn. We'll gain a life off the Inventor's Fair. There's the Angel of Invention. Let's get Stoneforge Mystic. Use the ability. Get Hearth and Home. Cast Hearth and Home. Equip Hearth and Home. Funny story, we will not be able to put Maul of the Skyclaves on the Stoneforge Mystic, because it's white. And it has pro-white. We've got 2 mana left. We're going to leave up the swords and figure out what we need to swords right here. I may shoot the Ghen just to keep them off of Phyrexian. Yeah, they could sacrifice Phyrexian Scriptures and then get back Starfield and do that whole thing. Not particularly excited about that. But I'd also really like to hold this up for the IcingDeath, because that thing is giant. And ugh. I guess we still have the Winds of Abandon. Nope, Cadus is out of gas. Day of Judgment. I guess we get to save our swords. Disappointed about... Oh, Stoneforge is going to get exiled. That sucks. Was excited about that interaction. Now we need a creature with haste. No haste in mono white. Archon of Emeria, gross. Captain of the Watch. Exile all cards from all opponents' graveyards. Bummer. We lost some good stuff. Open the vault. Oh, really? That's bad. That's really bad. Does Fish have enough to kill D-Manny? So that's 2, 6, 10, 13. No. 14 if they do that. Inventor's Fair. There's a land, finally. Play the land. What do we do right here? If Fish hasn't... I don't know that Fish can equip all their stuff. Oh, I forgot about IcingDeath. Okay, let's take another look at this. 2, 4, 8, 12, 15. Puts them to 1? Anything cause them to lose 1 life? Assuming they can afford to equip all that stuff. So that's 2, that's 5, that's 7, and that one's expensive. So they definitely won't be able to get that one on there. I don't think that they're going to be able to... So, oh man, I don't love this, but like, I don't really want to lose anything else. I think we just cast our commander and try to draw a card with the Dragon Sword. I think that's all we can really do right here. Like, set up for next turn. Maybe someone will shoot this so it doesn't go off again, but doesn't seem amazing. Nadaar trigger. We'll go for the Goblin Bazaar, get a treasure. Equip the Hearth and Home, just in case. Actually, let's draw first. Another land, get that land drop set up. Equip the Hearth and Home. Oh, now the problem is, ooh, yeah. So every turn they can just keep getting back the Phyrexian Scriptures with Starfield Nyx. So it'll come in with 1, and because of the timing of this happens during the draw step, basically they have a free board wipe every turn. If they get another enchantment, 1, 2, 3, 4, what does it take, 5? Yeah, then we can Swords the Starfield Nyx. That might actually be a good idea. Or, even better yet, we'd be able to Winds of Abandon. Stratascythe onto the Archon of Emeria. It's got 12 power. Fire and Ice onto the Archon of Emeria. Are they going to have enough? Oh, they get +1/+1 for our planes. I didn't realize that. Wow. I forgot that Stratascythe does that. I haven't seen it in so long. Yeah, this is going to be a lethal shot. Okay. Yeah, sending it into D-Manny for 16. Exalted. IcingDeath. Cadus is going to give it trample and +1/+1 for good measure. He's really stuck over there. He had an early start. Came out of the gates great, and then the removal got to him. Took down the Planeswalker, took down the enchantment. Now he has not a lot going on. There's the Fire and Ice trigger. I'm definitely going to shoot this Archon of Emeria, though. Cadus's face. They could send that one to our face. We're at 43, right? We should probably start working on our life total at some point. But we have a lot of mana. That's a thing that I've been focusing on. That's the thing that I always focus on. I always focus on trying to make as much mana as I can, which means we want to shoot this Archon of Emeria because we've got multiple plays that we want to make. Archon of Emeria down, opponent gains a lot of life. They go up to 55. Thing was huge. But they did what they needed to do, which was take down the enchantment deck, which is a complete pain to interact with. And that'll bring it back to our turn. And now we've got this Nadaar untapped with a Sword of Hearth and Home, so we can do some stuff. Inventor's Fair trigger. Thespian Stage. Any cool lands? That's a cool land. Opponent's been getting stuff done with that. Play the Thespian Stage. Play Angel of Invention. Oh, you know what else we could do? We could crack this Inventor's Fair for a Dowsing Dagger. And I really kind of want that mana. Although, we might then start to run out of cards. Although, if we just keep blinking these two, it may not matter that much. Yeah. The Dowsing Dagger play is a little greedy, I think, right here. Our mana is fine. So, let's go Angel of Invention. It's going to Fabricate. We're going to go for the Servos. We do have enough to cast Captain of the Watch also, but I might want to get Redain in. Redain makes board wipes a lot harder. Let's go to combat. Swing into Fish. Nadaar trigger. We scry 2. Gaia Reach Sanitarium and Sajiri Shelter. Both are lands. The protection is nice. We have an X land drop set up. Think I can live without the Gaia Reach. I do like the Sajiri Shelter, though. Makes it a lot easier to keep stuff alive. Also, if we have to, like, block or get past the IcingDeath, that's going to be a thing. Actually, well, this is all going to get shuffled when we blink, or when we find our land, so I guess it's not even going to matter. That's fine, because like neither of those cards are like exactly what we wanted, so blink the Angel of Invention. Well, let's just take a look at this. Exile the top 2 cards. You may play them. That's the card advantage one. Is it another creature? Oh, the sword's colorless. Since this is the Nadaar game, normally I would blink this Angel of Invention, but I think I'm going to blink the Nadaar just so we can look at it. Get to use more of the dungeon mode. We get a land. Nadaar comes back into play. That triggers the Dragon's Horde. Also, there's that. Let's go Runestone Caverns. I think that's the one we wanted. Yeah, we're going to exile the top 2 cards of our library. We may play them. White Sun Zenith and a Soul Ring. Those are both good. Dragon's Horde counter. Oh, you have to play them right then? Oh, that's disappointing. I didn't know that. Oh, God, we messed it up. We messed it up. Ah, that sucks. Really wanted that Soul Ring. That Soul Ring would have been real good. Because it just says you may play them, I didn't realize that was like, it has to be right then. I thought that was like, anytime you want. Whoops. I realized that there's different wording for that, but hadn't thought about it before this moment, so. Well, that's annoying. Play this Redain, try to protect ourselves from board wipes, put the Hearth and Home back on our... Yeah, we'll put it on our commander. Yeah, I think we can just draw with this right now. Buried Ruin. Not helpful after multiple graveyard exiles. White Sun Zenith wouldn't have been terrible either. How many do we have to go? 2 more? So the attack and then the blink would actually get us there. Warstorm Surge, real card. Real card. Opponent paid 8 for it because of Redain. Love it. That's a Wrath of God. We're getting blued up again, but they had to spend all their turn doing that, so guess it's not the end of the world. Back to the command zone. Inventor's Fair. Plains. Cast Nadaar. 7. 7 is a bit. We have exactly 6, which is enough to get the Captain of the Watch. We get to Scry 3. Mana Crypt, Core Cartographer, Semester's End. Those are decent. I think Mana Crypt on the bottom of that pile. Core Cartographer on the bottom. Mana Crypt in the middle. Semester's End is some important protection that I'd like to get going here. Play the Buried Ruin. Cast Captain of the Watch. Actually, if we use the treasure right here, we can draw the next card. So we'll do that. There's a 2/2s. And then we'll draw the card. Oh, maybe we should have equipped Nadaar just because Warstorm Surge. 3 toughness is not the most, but he's been kind of stuck. He hasn't really had creatures, so we'll hope that trend continues. We do draw the Semester's End. We'll have the Mana Crypt coming. And now I'm starting to think about the Inventor's Fair a little bit. We probably need a card draw equipment, Mask of Memory maybe. There's a Parallel Lives. Oh, that could be real bad with Warstorm Surge. Solemn Simulacrum, I'm okay with that. Although that Solemn still can get really deadly if they just suit it up with a bunch of stuff. We'll need to be careful of that. Gets a land. Yeah, puts a Stratascythe on it. It's going to be giant. And that's going to bring it back to our turn. Inventor's Fair trigger. There's the Mana Crypt. Play a land. Play a Mana Crypt. Yeah, this is the time to use the Inventor's Fair. Inventor's Fair. Well, maybe we just get Feast and Famine. Oh, we need card draw, though. Although, when we attack, we'll get 3 extra cards. Yeah, Feast and Famine. What are our choices? Blackblade Reforged is a cool card. Feast and Famine does good things. Gives us a lot of mana to work with. Card draw is a thing we are going to need soon, though. Yeah, I think it's got to be the Mask of Memory, just because Fish still has 6 cards. That can be a thing. Really want that Feast and Famine, though. Alright, who's getting what? Colorless, so Colorless is kind of a pain for us to get through. Yeah, I guess Hearth and Home on Nadaar. Mask of Memory. Equip the Mask of Memory. We can put them all on the Captain. That's not a bad idea. Go to combat. This one into Cadus. That one into Fish. I think all these into Fish, and we'll let a token die. Venture into the dungeon. Ooh, our stuff's going to get bigger here. Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We draw 3 cards, reveal them. You may cast one of them without paying its mana cost. Oh my. Teleportation Circle and Cavalier Dawn. Cavalier Dawn is super helpful. There's a lot of things worth blowing up. Yeah, cast the Cavalier Dawn. Let's start by shooting this Stratascythe. That's something that'll get us killed really quickly. And now we can Hearth and Home the Cavalier Dawn and probably take down the Warstorm Surge so that our stuff doesn't get crushed. And also our team gets +1/+1 because we've completed a dungeon. Yeah. So opponent's going to trade a 3/3 for a 3/3, and they're going to block the 2/2, try to draw a card. Now they got to dig for the board wipe. That works for me. Now we're getting to do what we want to be doing. Hearth and Home trigger, blink the Cavalier, Mask of Memory trigger, And opponent gets to draw with the Solemn. Ooh, we have 7 planes in play and an Emeria in hand. We'll draw 2 cards. Land, Gaia Reach, discard a land. Blink the Cavalier, get a land. Cavalier, shoot the Warstorm Surge, that can get us killed. 3 total mana up, 1 short of the semester's end, sadly. Pray for no board wipes. So this is kind of the plan. This is what I had envisioned this deck doing. Kind of getting Hearth and Home being a big part of our plan. Ooh, that's a doubling season. And using it to blink some stuff while also getting in commander damage. That was kind of the goal here. It took a really long time to set that up. It is now turn 12, but there was some weirdness in the middle there with a lot of board wipes going off, and the repeatable board wipes from the enchantment deck. That stuff's all very scary. So that just slowed us down a whole bunch. But yeah, we've reached the point of the game that I was hoping to get to. Cadus is low on resources, kind of stuck. Fish has a lot of cards in hand, but doesn't have a creature in play. And doesn't have the mana production that we have. So we can kind of beat Fish on mana production as long as they don't have anything like too crazy. And Austere Command or Hour Rev is a big problem. Yosei is a card. I don't see a way for them to kill that yet. But when they do, it'll be bad. They're going to put the Fire and Ice on it. Yeah, that's a pretty big flyer. Pretty big flyer. We can get in now with the Nadaar, though. 5 permanents, huh? Skips their next untap step. Tap 5 permanents. Wow. That is nasty. That might be a Winds of Abandon, actually. Mana Crypt. Tails. Lost the flip. There's the Feast and Famine. Now we can get some stuff done. Let's play the Samaria. Feast and Famine might seal it up here. There's a lot of value to get. Equip a Feast and Famine. Play the Teleportation Circle. Excited about this one. Haven't used this one yet. Go to combat. Opponent got a 3/3 golem from something. I didn't see what. Oh, when we shot their thing with the Cavalier. They got 2 of them. It's not the worst. Send this into Fish. That into Cadus. That into Cadus. And that into Cadus. And all of these into Cadus. Probably going to have to try to get Fish with commander damage at this point. Still on very high life. But more importantly, we can, like, repeatably remove important targets. We're going to venture into the dungeon. Yeah. You guys want to check out a different dungeon? We can go to a different dungeon if you want. Mono Whiteboarder has been talking about just going through the Tomb of Annihilation as fast as possible. Let's do that. Each player loses 1 life. Second Harvest. Oh, this is going to make some tokens. We might lose some stuff here. It's going to make a lot of tokens. There's 8 tokens. Yeah, our ground forces will probably get crushed on that side. Oh, no, not the Cavalier. Oh, not the Cavalier. Might have to protect the Cavalier. Too valuable. It's too valuable. Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of back in it now. Yep. Gonna put 3 on there. Double block that. We're gonna play the Semester's End and protect our Cavalier. The Cavalier is what's gonna take us home, so. Bunch of sword triggers. Hearth and Home. Oh, interesting story about the Hearth and Home. Someone pointed this out to me the other day. It says target creature you own, which means if someone steals one of your things, you can blink it and it'll come back to your side. Won't always come up, but when you need it, you need it. So, kind of gives you a second homeward path if you need it, which on top of all the other really good things that it does, so. Pretty cool. Yeah, let's blink the captain right here. Mask of Memory, Feast and Famine. There's a Knight Captain of Eos. Now we don't have to die to combat damage. It showed up. It showed up. Discard a planes. Get a land. Captain of the Watch re-enters. And best of all, Captain of the Watch makes soldiers. And Knight Captain cares about soldiers. You sacrifice a soldier to Fog. So that is 100% what we're doing right here. I'm going to put the Maul on the Knight Captain because I'm probably going to blink this Captain again. And I'm going to hold back the Tome of Legends just in case an Austere Command shows up. Teleportation Circle. Let's blink the Captain on the Watch. Cavalier. Should probably shoot one of these doublers. 2 doublers seems like a lot. We'll get a bunch more tokens out of it, though. Teleportation Circle. Blink the Captain. It's working. The deck is working. ETB trigger. More soldiers. And we'll leave all this mana up. We don't have a lot to do with it, but probably do something with like Thespian Stage and Fogs and things like that. We are well ahead of our opponents. We have 58 cards in our library versus 76 and 73, so we have valued. And that's kind of how you have to play mono white, even though like it's not easy to value in mono white. You really got to like pick and choose your spots and figure out how you're going to do it. But it's also like slower and more difficult than every other color. But still, if your opponents don't generate enough value and you get to this point in the game. I still feel like we're very ahead based on what we have. Some removal could change things. Here comes the Thromok. Yep. Yeah, it's a good thing we shot the doubling season because we get double the counters on it, which it no longer will. It's got 49 power. That does make Fling a problem. He just tapped 2 mana. Yep, it's a Fling. Awesome. Fantastic. Yep, that's annoying. That is annoying. I doubt this will work, but just in case. Down we go. I'm annoyed. Core Cartographer for opponent, and they should just die to the Yosei. Hearth and Home in. And there goes the Yosei. Cathedral of Ore. He points out second time I've died to a Fling. Yep, I'm not happy about it. I am happy that we did get to see what the deck wanted to do, though. That was kind of the state I was trying to set up with the Hearth and Home and the Blink triggers and all the tokens and stuff like that from Captain of the Watch, particularly Knight Captain of Eos. That's twice I've died to non-combat damage with Knight Captain of Eos in play. Perhaps a reason for more Protector of the Crown type effects. But yeah, the deck is kind of doing what I want it to do. It's not the fastest thing ever. It would be faster to just load it up with swords and run like every protection spell in the book. But if that's really what you're after, I think Halvar is just going to be a better deck for that. Nadaar is interesting. It gives you small amounts of value, which is fun, but Commander's sort of in this place where everything needs to be like really big and splashy now. Dungeon of the Mad Mage is what you're going to be going with most of the time, and it does take a while for you to start getting cards out of it, and it will get you a couple extra cards, which is nice. But it's not game-winning amounts of card draw necessarily. It's not a Consecrated Sphinx. It's not a Rhystic Study or any of that type of stuff. It just kind of keeps you from getting stuck. It gives you more things to keep doing. So, but anyway, yeah, we got to see what the deck does. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon, link below.